Good morning all. Dear Minister Hazard, with the upcoming 1-year anniversary of my life-changing experience back on Friday, the 15th of July 2016, I humbly ask you to please accept this letter as a sign of my appreciation and gratitude from the bottom of my broken heart. On Sunday, the 5th of June 2016, whilst holidaying in Thailand, I received a call from my 22-week pregnant 19-year-old daughter, Tara, telling me she was in Inverell Hospital under Dr. Palmer, as her membrane had prematurely ruptured. Tara was to have complete bed rest and was waiting to see if the fetus would survive and become a viable birth option. My husband and I flew home early from our holiday to support our daughter and look after Tara's 15-month-old daughter, our granddaughter, Aaliyah. The midwives at Inverell Hospital and Dr. Palmer were wonderful with Tara and passed no judgment, well, none that I saw. With Tara being such a young mum to a 15-month-old and pregnant for the second time. Thank you so much for looking after my girl. On 11th of June 2016, at 24 weeks, now with a viable pregnancy, Tara was transferred to John Hunter Hospital by ambulance, where Tara was to stay as long as possible until her unborn baby developed. As I lived and worked in Sydney, I rented an apartment in Newcastle to look after Tara's daughter and was fortunate enough to have an understanding boss where I could work from Newcastle in between looking after my granddaughter, visiting my daughter Tara daily in hospital and driving back and forth to Sydney to check in on the rest of my family, 2 teenage sons and a husband. On the morning of Friday, 15th of July 2016, I received a phone call from my youngest son, Jed, who was crying hysterically, was trying to tell me, his brother, who is also my eldest son, and Tara's brother, our beautiful Brock, who was 18 years old, had been killed whilst riding his motorbike to work. I then had to break this news to Tara, where her condition was already of great concern to me. I informed Marianne Knox, midwifery unit manager of Ward K3 at John Hunter Hospital, of the situation before breaking the news to Tara. I cannot begin to thank Marianne, the nursing staff, the young pregnant counsellor and doctors whose names I do not remember, for their compassion and care to Tara and myself. Their love and support to both of us was above and beyond their normal duty, and this letter seems quite insignificant to the enormity of their kindness and professionalism. A very humble thank you to all. As I had to be in Sydney to arrange my son's funeral and be with our family, doctors arranged a transfer on compassionate grounds for Tara to be transferred to Westmead Hospital for the week. And then she could return to John Hunter after her brother's funeral and continue with the pregnancy plan of giving birth between 36 to 38 weeks. A heartfelt thank you to all. Again, the midwives and doctors at Westmead were so kind and caring, and their monitoring of Tara was extraordinary. Unfortunately, Tara's stress and grief kept bringing on contractions, and with Tara's bleeding and condition deteriorating, at 1:40 a.m. on Friday, 22nd of July 2016, the early morning of the day of my son's funeral, I witnessed my grandson Chad being delivered 10 weeks prematurely by emergency caesarean, and then watched on as he was resuscitated. A very grateful thank you to all. After Chad was stabilised and Tara was taken back to her room, I said goodbye to let her rest, and as I walked from Tara's room, the nurse who had helped resuscitate Chad hugged me and gave me the most sincere condolences for the loss of my son and wished me well for his funeral. A tearful thank you to her. The doctors and nurses arranged for Tara to leave the hospital later that morning to attend her brother's funeral, and I cannot even begin to describe to you the depth of humanity from all the doctors and nurses who cared for Tara and Chad and know of our situation. A very emotional thank you to all. On Wednesday, the 27th of July 2016, baby Chad had his first helicopter ride when he was airlifted to John Hunter Hospital and then later transferred to Inverell Hospital on 7th of September 2016, and then finally discharged from hospital to go home on 9th of September 2016. A very cheerful thank you to all. Whilst Inverell, John Hunter and Westmead Hospitals impeccably nursed and guided my daughter and grandson for 12 weeks, I must also mention and thank NEPT for their wonderful and competent team who transferred Tara and Chad around the state. Thank you for keeping my family safe. To the paramedics and emergency department nurses and doctors from St George Hospital who worked on my son Brock the morning of his fatal motor vehicle accident on Friday, 15th of July 2016, I am overwhelmed with gratitude for the respect and consideration they gave to my deceased son Brock, my youngest son Jed and my husband Craig. A huge thank you to all for looking after my family when I couldn't. The ongoing support the ED nurses and doctors continued to give to my husband, Craig, who ironically worked on site for the construction company Brookfield Multiplex, who is undertaking the works for St George Hospital refurbishment. A simple thanks seems somewhat inadequate, but please know it comes from the heart. I know New South Wales Health don't always get it right, but from my experience during 2016, I am extremely thankful and grateful to New South Wales Health for their support to my family. Whilst I lost my son in tragic circumstances, I understand paramedics, doctors and nurses did everything they could to revive my son, Brock. And even though Brock could not be saved, I'm indebted to the team who revived my grandson moments after being born on Friday, the 22nd of July 2016. And now I have a beautiful, healthy grandson who is a happy and content baby, growing day by day thanks to the dedication and commitment of New South Wales Health. Please pass on my most humble thanks and appreciation to the hospitals and their respective staff. Warmest regards, Tina Geeney. Thank you.
Thank you, Tina, Tara, and welcome to your beautiful granddaughter, Alea, and your grandson, Chad. Thank you for taking the time to write to Minister Hazzard such a heartfelt and deeply moving letter of gratitude and thanks for the care received in Inverell, John Hunter, Westmead and St George Hospitals. Good morning, I'm Tracy McCrenna, a midwife working at Westmead Hospital and was part of the team that cared for Tara during her stay at Westmead. On behalf of all the doctors, nurses, midwives and healthcare staff, we are glad to know that in some small way we lightened your burden and provided support to your family during the loss of the beloved son Brock and the birth of your premature son Chad. I am proud that New South Wales Health could respond with empathy and creativity and enable Tara to be transferred to Westmead to attend her brother's funeral. Everyone in the ward was happy to do whatever was needed to get Tara to the funeral. Unfortunately, baby Chad clearly had other ideas. We all felt a sense of relief that Tara had her family close by through such a distressing time and that she could grieve with them as well as sharing the joy and anxiety that she felt with the birth of her son. Tina, your letter to Minister Hazzard speaks volumes that during such personal tragedy and stress, you noticed and appreciated all the acts of kindness you and your family received while in our care. Thank you for being so generous. It was our privilege to care for your family, but your letter was for all of us a gift of affirmation, confirming the work we do and the difference it makes. Your family's journey through New South Wales Health highlights that no matter how big the organisation, it is the ability not to lose sight of the individual or forget the importance of compassion and kindness that defines who we are and what we mean to our communities. Your letter lifts our spirits and gives us energy to continue doing our jobs, and we thank you for taking the time to say thank you. It's wonderful to see your family growing and thriving, and we wish you all the very best for the future. I would like to invite everyone to join me in showing appreciation to Tina and her family for the beautiful thoughts expressed in that letter. Tina, thank you once again for sharing your experience and your family with us.